perhaps I can help. You see, I have invented a device that allows you to enter someone else's dreams and explore their subconscious.
So we can go inside Homer's sleeping mind and find out why he's wetting the bed?
Yes, in fact, I just used it to cure another Springfielder of his particular obsession.
Normal Stu likes normal things.
Hi, I'm Judah.
And I'm Zion.
And we are the Amateur Film Critics.
Whoop-de-doo.
Whoop-de-doo. Zion, you sound so excited for this movie. But, honestly, Zion, I'm not going to be offended if this isn't your favorite movie by the end we're doing the ratings, because I understand why, because I know your taste and I can understand if it's not like your cup of tea. But today we are doing one of my most favorite movies of all time, literally.
I'm very surprised by that.
Zion, this is one of my favorite movies of all time. We're doing Inception. I have watched this movie probably 5 or 6 times for sure.
Oh
no! Yep. And Zion just watched it for the first time about a week ago. So you're going to have 2 very different perspectives on this movie. And I want to say, Zion, one thing about this movie is that you need to, in order to truly understand it, you have to, okay, let's not put it that way. You realize even more things as you rewatch it, okay? Like, when I was watching it again not too long ago, something just clicked in my brain and it made slightly more sense than it did before.
Oh, brother!
I think we just get right into it. So, Zion, the first thing I have on the discussion topics is the plot. And it's obviously confusing. So I want you, as someone who's only watched it once, I want you to explain what happens in it. And then we can compare it to how I would explain it, okay? Just so you can... Because like I said, I've watched this 6 or 7 times.
Yeah, let me try to remember what happened.
Okay.
Basically, there are these 2 guys, and they're basically expert in manipulating or manipulating people, and so basically they put people in their dreams, but they make them think it's reality. And so they're trying to do this to this one guy, because I don't remember why they do it. Maybe I don't remember why they do it to this one guy. It was something about like his father, or
yeah, they're trying to. Do you want me to explain it to you, or do you want me to let you finish your explanation of it?
Explain it to me, because that's literally all I got so far.
Okay. So the idea is that usually their job is they will put people to sleep and then basically use dreams to sneak into their subconscious and steal information from them. But the point of this one is they want to actually plant an idea into the guy's head, which is way different and much harder, because it has to seem like the guy thought of the idea himself. He can't trace it back to someone else telling him it. So the point of the idea is they want this idea to be that he breaks up his father's multi-corporation company or whatever, multi-company corporation, because it's basically like an energy monopoly, and pretty soon if they own all the energy sources in the world or whatever, something like that, it would be pretty bad because they could jack up prices and they'd be superpowered. That was sort of the basis of it, I think.
Wait a minute, Troy. I'm a little confused.
To tell you the truth, I literally was not paying attention to anything you just said, so I'm gonna just go along with that's what happened in the film.
Okay. So, that would be sort of my most basic explanation. If we want to get into the very interesting details, I think we should just skip and maybe talk about the ending, because I think that's one of the biggest details that we need to discuss out of this plot, all right? So, to describe the ending, they complete the Inception, or at least we think they do, right? They make the guy believe that it's his idea to break up his father's company using some sort of tactics of like him wanting to be his own person or something like that. And as we basically ends with Leonardo DiCaprio getting off the plane and his passport being accepted, which he was a fugitive in America. So if it hadn't been accepted, if it again accepted, means that he's a free man now. So, and then he goes and sees his kids, who he had not been able to see for a while. But before he runs over to his kids, he spins the top. And the point of this top is to tell him whether or not he's in a dream. Which I think I had to explain this to you, Zion. But basically, if the top keeps spinning, it means he's in a dream. But if it falls, then he's not in a dream. That's the most basic. That's the basic idea of it. So, when he walks over to his kids, we just see the shot of the top spinning, and right before it looks like it could fall over, it cuts away. So Zion, do you think it's a dream, or do you think it's not a dream?
Well, honestly, you could make arguments for both of them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it could be either one. It could be either one. I'm gonna say it could be either one.
Could be either one. All right. Yeah, I'm torn too on it, honestly, because I would like, it really does feel like it could be either one. I agree with you. Yeah. I think one of the interesting parts that I think sort of sticks, adds the idea that it could be a dream, is that the editing and the cinematography at the end reminds me a lot of when at the beginning of the film, when he's explaining to, I forgot her name, but the girl who's going to like design all the levels of the dreams, right? He's explaining to it how it works, and he says, like, you don't remember how you got there, you just appear there. You're always right in the middle of the dream. And that's the way it feels, because it's cutting from sort of one place to another, like from the plane to customs to like the house. That's the way it feels. And so like, I don't, that could just be coincidence. That could be me looking way too far into this movie and trying to be deep.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, it adds that a little bit. But the problem is, I want it to not be a dream, because it's a very happy ending, in my opinion. So I'm gonna go with it's not a dream, just because that's what I want it to be. But I'd say it's a very hard argument to make.
Yeah. The other part of the ending that I would like to talk about is so in the beginning of the film, he is on this beach, and he goes, and it's very confusing, but he basically goes and talks to somebody, and in the end of the film, they're implying that they got back to this ending that they did.
Yeah.
The ending of the film.
Yeah.
Oh, they're falling.
Yeah, I was like, what's going on over there? Yeah, that's an interesting part of the movie. I would say so. Like that was actually because in the beginning of the film, I'm thinking they frame the beginning of the film to make that one part as if almost like it's part of the first stream they're in the beginning. So like when they're like trying to steal
Yeah,
information from that guy's mind, do you know what I'm talking about? They frame it like that because he's
yeah,
like,
they
you remind me of a
like
man
that. Yeah,
you remind me of a man I met a long, long time ago or something like that. And then it cuts directly to him talking to a younger version of himself. And so that's what I thought was happening. Even when I was rewatching it, I forgot about that part.
uh,
And then at the end, it's revealed that that was actually this later like limbo area where the one guy was in.
uh-huh.
And I gotta say, that's a very cool detail in my opinion. I really like that. This entire plot, Zion. This is why I like this movie so much, because it's super complex, yet it's not so complicated. It's stupid, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Um,
it almost feels like, and I know we've already compared another movie to this film this season, but it almost feels like 2001: A Space Odyssey and the tone
yes.
of it.
No, yeah, I totally agree with you. Obviously, but like honestly, a lot of Christopher Nolan stuff and Stanley Kubrick stuff, like I feel like they work very. They're sort of like on similar levels of that like complex and confusing
Uh-huh.
nature and everything of that. And like even with you're totally right with like the tone.
Yeah,
I was even looking
even
on
though I
Rotten
might,
Tomatoes.
even though
I
I
was
might like
yeah
2000, even though I might like Stanley Kubrick stuff a little bit
yeah.
more, this was still had an interesting plot.
Okay, let's talk about the sort of plot twist or whatever, right? At where um it's revealed that Leonardo DiCaprio uh gave Ma, or who is his wife, uh the idea to that their world was not a reality and the only way to escape was by killing themselves, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot about that until now.
Yeah, I'd actually forgot about that plot twist before we watched it, and you were telling me about it. I was like, I don't remember this, Zion. And then I watched it, and I was like, oh yeah. So you are not the biggest fan of a huge plot twist at the end of a movie, I know, especially because sometimes you think they come off as like sort of unnecessary or
Yeah,
stupid. So what do you think of this one?
and in my opinion, a plot twist can ruin a film for me.
Mm-hmm.
As an example, the movie Now You
Yes.
See Me, they reveal at the end of this huge plot twist that doesn't make Mano sense to what
Yeah.
was happening in the film, and that plot twist ruined the entire film for me
Yeah.
personally. And but this one, it's okay. You
You
know,
think this one's okay? Okay. I'm glad this one.
it's it's not Empire Strikes back with of a plot twist,
Yeah.
but this isn't the worst I have seen. It's kind of like in between, you
Yeah.
know.
I would say something nice about this plot twist is that they foreshadow it a lot. Like you have Leonardo DiCaprio saying that Inception is possible, even though he doesn't say it's done before. And then you
Yeah,
obviously have the entire mystery of what happened with Ma, like being unfolded throughout the movie. So
yeah.
this
The
feels
plot twist like make sense to what's happening in the plot of the film,
yeah.
in my opinion.
So let's talk just a little bit about the character design. I think
Okay.
the biggest one to talk about is Leonardo DiCaprio. So
Yeah, I'm not the hugest Leonardo DiCaprio fan.
yeah, I knew you were
think
gonna say
the
that.
only thing I truly liked him in was maybe Romeo and
Okay.
Juliet.
We started out like Romeo and Juliet, but it ended up in tragedy.
Yeah, I have
But I
not
feel
seen
like in
Romeo
this
and Juliet.
film, yeah, in this film, like I just find his acting, I just find his character to be too. He takes things too
Yeah.
seriously, in my
Okay.
opinion.
Yeah, and I see
But
where you're coming from.
yeah, but his acting like doesn't ruin the film for me.
Yes.
It just comes across as not the greatest. I think other actors acted better than his acting in this film, but I know.
Yeah, I can get that. The only if to argue with you for the sake of arguing with you, I would say that maybe he's serious because he lost his wife in such an awful way and because he misses his kids. But I get where you're coming from, and that's the point with a lot of these characters is they're kind of flat,
Well,
if that makes
yeah,
sense.
I'm not. Here's the thing: I'm not like saying he takes things too seriously
Okay.
just because of this film. I think in all the films I've seen him in, he does the same thing.
Oh,
So I wasn't
yeah, I
talking
can get
about
that.
his character in the film.
You were
I was
talking about Leonardo DiCaprio. Okay.
talking about
Then
him as
yeah,
an
I
actor.
totally. Sorry, I forgot to turn down my phone. Yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying with that. Then
What did you say, punk?
I actually haven't seen Leo DiCaprio much else, but I get. I think I get that criticism.
I've seen him in this film, Romeo and Juliet, and in the great Gatsby, I believe,
Mhm.
and those three, he he acts he takes things too seriously as an actor, in my hope.
Yeah.
In all three of those films. So
You bloated sack of protoplasm!
Yeah. Okay.
maybe
I get
in
what you're saying.
Titanic he's a little bit better, but I haven't seen that one. So
Yeah, we haven't seen Titanic. Maybe we can see if we can do that for the podcast in future episode A. You're like, no, please no. Oh.
You're an idiot.
Yeah, I would say that like as far as like the other characters, there's nothing like super interesting about them. Like I said, I think this movie focuses more on the plot than it does its characters, which in my opinion works slightly for this film. If there was another like super interesting character to point out, I think it would be his wife. I think the actress who plays her does a really, really good job at, I don't know, being mysterious.
It's still a mystery.
Throughout part of it, and then also playing like the loving wife / the insane psychopathic subconscious person. You know what I mean? But yeah, the characters just, in the end, all the characters end up a little flat. You're turning your cameras on.
I was trying to turn it towards Patches, who's on my bed, but
oh shoot! Turn your camera down. Show us Patches. We gotta see Patches.
Okay. Sorry.
Aww, Patches. Wait, what does Patches have to say about Inception? Do you know?
I don't think Patches watched it with me. I think Patches got bored in the first 10 minutes of it. But
Wow, okay. Patches is a rough critic. Very, very picky, I see. Okay. So
Patches' favorite film though is All Dogs Go To. Evan, that's her favorite.
that's Patches' favorite film. Okay. All right. Wow.
heaven because Pat just think it's sensitive.
Oh my gosh, Patches. Okay. Oh. So, moving on, I guess. Oh, we know, I think, transitioning a little bit from characters, let's talk. Zion, who is your favorite character in this movie?
Ooh, probably the girl with the harps on. It's
Yes.
the girl they trained to go to create the mazes. I don't know what her name is, but
Yeah, the character is called, give me a second.
But it seems like
Yeah.
her character always mouse they do Harfon though.
That is so true, though. Now that I think back to it.
Always wears a scarf for some reason.
Okay.
Like Daphne from Scooby-Doo, almost.
Alright, I have no idea how to pronounce that character's name.
Let me look up. Wait.
But
what's her name? I'm gonna look it up.
It's like Ariadne is the character's name. But I just want to focus on something because the wife, I called her Ma, and I swore they called her Ma throughout it too. But according to Google, it's spelled M-A-L. Is her name Mal, like from like Descendants?
No, but they called her Ma because of the early Hill Billies.
Because yeah, we were watching the Beverly Hillbillies recently. Oh.
All I'm gonna turn loose is about a pound of buckshot. There's half a pound. Where'd you like the other half?
Okay, well, I would say that the dead wife's character would be my favorite character.
Okay.
Yeah. Then we have favorite scene. So, Zion, what was your favorite scene of the film?
The ending, maybe?
Okay, yeah. I would say my favorite scene is the scene when the one guy is fighting the other people in the hotel, but like there's like no gravity. I thought that was a really cool scene. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So I'm gonna go with that as being my favorite scene.
Okay.
So from there, we have our final thoughts and ratings, Zion. So Zion,
yeah.
I'm gonna let you rate this one first. What do you think of Inception?
I'm gonna give it four scarves out of 5 scarves.
Okay. 4 scars out of 5 scars.
But it's not perfect in my opinion. I'm sorry, but
yeah.
Why are you the way that you are? Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it not that way. I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
So I think that means you know where I'm going with this, because this is a 5 out of 5 stars for me.
You didn't see that coming?
In my opinion, Inception is a perfect film.
Oh, brother!
I can overlook the characters not being as interesting because I think they work well with the plot.
And I might have gotten bored with the film part of it, but I still thought it wasn't the worst film I've seen though. So
I guess in my opinion, this plot just like is so fascinating to me and like interesting, interesting. I cannot say words today. Interestingly complicated and complex that like it just draws me in, and so I don't get as bored even through some of the slower parts.
Yeah.
So this is a perfect film. This is Judah approved. I don't know what image we're going to use for that. I'm kind of worried because you usually are the one who puts in pictures and stuff.
Well, you could probably like send me the imagery you want to use for that.
Yeah, we'll have
Or
to see.
I could
Yeah,
find one myself, but
I might just let you find one yourself and surprise me. So who knows what's up on the screen right now for all the world to see. But
I'll
yeah,
probably
this is
find someone who I think you look or act like on the screen.
okay.
He talked about how how in this film, how you find the plot of this film to be very interesting, and you dive like deep into the plot. I may have found the plot of the film that we're talking about probably next a little more interesting than this.
Do you just want to tell them like what it is? Because
I'll just surprise them.
okay.
Well,
it has to do with the red-haired girl. Let's say that. You can piece it together which one we're talking about.
A
red-haired mermaid in our season 2 release of episodes, because Zion finds that plot more interesting than this one.
Why, Eric, run away with you? This is all so sudden. Daddy!
I consider myself a reasonable merman. I set certain rules, and I expect those rules to be obeyed.
But Daddy, I love him!
No. And if this is the only way, so be it.
Oh my gosh, sorry. Okay, I guess
it sounds really bad if you take it out of context, but
it does, yes. But my final, because I'm gonna die on this hill, saying that this is like a perfect movie. I guess my final thing to say is that it's. I will like till the day I die say that this is a perfect movie, and you will never change my mind, Zion.
Never ever.
Never, ever, ever.
Never, never, ever, ever for never, ever.
Never, ever, never, never, ever, ever, never.
Never, ever, 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 ever.
Never, ever, never, ever, ever, never, ever, never, never, ever, ever, never. All right, Patrick, that is enough.
You will never change my mind.
My
I'm sorry.
favorite movie of all time is the Inception movie. That's me.
It's nice because it has such an original, interesting plot. Like that's one of like the biggest points I think to take away from this. So with that said, I think it's time we say goodbye. Zion, final words.
Before we end this, now that I think about it,
yes,
this film kind of, you say it's an original plot, but there's a season 1 episode of SpongeBob that kind of resembles this plot, and that episode came out before this film did.
Really?
Yeah, so you'll just probably have to watch that episode and compare the two. That maybe
if the most is that they're inside if like the biggest comparison is that they're inside a dream the entire time or something like that, if that's no.
I will you should watch the episode and do a video where you compare the two on the
we'll see. I might not have good idea. I might not have good things to say about SpongeBob in this context.
Well,
but
everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
So. Before we say goodbye, remember to like, subscribe, and follow our Instagram at Amateur Film Critics. Zion, You've been saying it this entire time. You did not rip Inception a new one. You actually were not. You actually didn't destroy it in this video. So we made it the video without you.
Well, I kind of droid Leonardo Dicaprio.
And I'm fine with that. Leonardo, I mean, he's only won what, an Oscar, people. Like, he can't be that good an actor. I mean, come on. So, yep, there we go. Bye, guys.
Okay, bye.
Who? Where? What? When? Why? How? Who? Oh. Phew. Must have been a nightmare. Oh, yeah? That's what you think!